Hi there, folks. My name's NovaWrap24, and welcome this week to a very special episode of the NovaWrap. So this week we've got a special guest we're going to be interviewing this week. So we have Zac here today. Now, say hello, Zac.
Hi, everyone.
So Zac's from, you may know him from Boston Virtual ATC, but most importantly, though, at the moment, he's actually involved in one of the organisers of FlightSimCon. One of the few global actual flight simulation events that actually happens every year. So what I'm going to do is we're going to quickly go over some of the highlights of what we're going to be looking at for Flight Sim and find out more about it. And so we might just jump in straight into it then, Zac. So
sure, that sounds good.
So tell us a little bit about what FlightSimCon is and where it's come from.
So FlightSimCon is an annual aviation and flight simulation conference designed for both pilots and enthusiasts, and for people who may just be interested in the world of aviation but haven't really gotten involved to the point of actually doing anything. FlightSimCon has been in circulation since 2012 when we, 2013 when we had our first conference, and from there we've had one every year around the same time, around the March-June area. And FlightSimCon 2015, it'll be held at New England Air Museum over at Bradley Airport in Connecticut in the United States on June 13th and 14th. Basically, FlightSimCon, it's designed to bring the pilots and flight simmers together in an interactive and social setting. And through that, we can have people meet other simulation enthusiasts, the people who they've never seen off of their screen on the computer or just heard as a voice on the flight sim platform that they use. It also teaches people how they can experience how online flight simulation can benefit the real-world ratings, such as student and rated pilots. So we have a couple CFIs, certified flight instructors, who will be attending the conference and speaking at the conference, who will all be able to attest to that fact. And it also engages the people who are very involved with the flight simulation world. It engages them with speakers, exhibitors, and sponsors who actually attend the event. Big names include, which we'll talk about later, some Jetline Systems, GoFlight, Aerosoft, PMDG. They'll all be in attendance, and many more.
One of the really great things I actually heard in that sort of great summary there is the fact that you actually do get to have a personal connection then, which is something that, as you said, we spend hours and hours and hours talking to all these people from all over the world, and yet we're seeing them just through a screen. So to actually be able to, meet these people and these fellow aviation enthusiasts face to face, that's something that's really exciting and something that I think gets missed a lot, that sort of personal touch. I think it gets missed a lot with a lot of online and a lot of new age interactions. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. I would agree 100%. I know with attending the last event last year in 2014 and looking forward to this event, I know myself, and with talking to other friends throughout Boston Virtual ATC and other regular attendees who just happened to drop by FlightSimCon, they were never bored. They always had something to talk about with another person that they've experienced on a platform like TeamSpeak or Skype, or even in just the sim. It's always great to kind of make that friendship alive and put it into perspective of actually seeing the face as opposed to just hearing the voice.
Yeah, exactly. As instead of actually putting a face to the name and the voice, as it were.
Exactly.
So I guess I have one question, and I think this is probably going to be especially for probably some of the newer members to the flight simulation community, because we know, of course, that we've had in the last year we've had FSX re-released for Steam Edition. We've had a few other simulators such as X-Plane get significant updates, and we're seeing a lot more sort of growth in the simulation genre. So I guess more to answer the concerns of those younger or newer members of the community. Is this something that's going to be just for people who've been doing it for years and spend umpteen thousands of dollars on their rigs, or is it something that's really genuinely for all the community?
It's generally something for everybody of all ages, all desires, all experience levels. FlightSimCon has always been that, always had that central hub and always been that central database for everybody to come together and share experiences, share their real stories that they've encountered in the real world and in the sim at the same time, people who've been able to talk about different aspects of aviation, and also people who've been able to compare and contrast different experiences that they've had. So people, it's kind of like I can't really think of a good analogy, but let's say you have a really new person to flight sim, no matter what kind of platform they use, X-Plane, Flight Simulator X, FSX Steam Edition, P3D, any of the above. Let's say they use one of those platforms as opposed to another person who might have been using it for 10 years and has had different versions of that same platform. They both have something in common. They both have that desire and that spark for that aviation knowledge and that want for the aviation experience, whether it's in the real world or in a virtual setting. And I think just having those two types of people there just makes it so diverse and yet so great for everybody to come together and share experiences, because then the people who don't have much experience can come to the people who do and ask them questions. They can compare and contrast like always, and then they can always just have a good time because they do share that one desire and that one same love for aviation.
And that's and that's a really good thing to hear, because I think that that's something that I've definitely long supported, and I know Zac, from your work with Boston ATC and with some of the cross community flights that we've both been part of, is the fact that we really do try and encourage everyone to actually be part of a community. It is more than just a few pixels on the screen. It is actually about experiences, virtual and real, that you can all share. So that's really, really positive to hear and see.
Yeah, now, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I understand that you mentioned, you touched on it earlier before. You got because I'll give you curiosity. You mentioned quite a few big names in the simulation community, such as Rex Game Studios, PMDG, SciTech earlier. So you found that you've got a lot of positive industry support as well from the community, and not just from the grassroots?
We've gotten a lot of industry support, and we can't be more thankful enough. Getting off of our feet from the past 2 years, we've had maybe 2 or 3 sponsors, and they, while they were great sponsors, great exhibitors, we couldn't thank them enough for coming out. We've sort of lacked that big support of everybody coming together, and to get a big membership base to come every year and come back to FlightSimCon, we felt that we needed to really outreach, and we really needed to send word out to everybody who came to all those flight simulation conferences out in the UK, across the globe, over in China, and anywhere else in Europe and Africa and all those other countries. So big names like Jetline Systems, the FlightSim store, those are both premium in-flight SAC level sponsors. They're our highest sponsor level. We couldn't be thankful enough to them. We also have ProSim 737 attending, and Aerosoft is one of our biggest sponsors as well as Rex and Saytech, Dovetail Games, GoFlight. The list goes on and on and on. PMDG, while they're not able to sponsor or exhibit this year, they will be in attendance, and one of their heads of department, Robert, he'll be there to speak as well as be in our panel discussion. So we're very thankful to have PMDG support online as well.
And I also noticed that because a lot of people starting to talk about the future of simulation, as we all know, FSX is it is the staple of the simulation community, but it is starting to get a bit long in the tooth, as it were. But it's good to. I actually noticed that Dovetail recently announced that they are also going to be sponsoring as well, so they'll be in attendance as well.
Yep, Dovetail will be there, and Dovetail, and as well as other people such as. Somebody from Aerosoft, Winifred Dickinman is the CEO of Aerosoft, as well as a couple other big names in the flight sim community, one being Pete Wright, his name is Frugal Sim on YouTube. They'll all be participating in a panel discussion held at 1:45 on Saturday. That's the first day of FlightSimCon, and the exact topic is exactly what you said, the future of at-home flight simulation. And we're getting all the big names from the different sides of the flight sim world and industry to come together and share their perspective on the topic.
That's yeah. I was gonna say, I saw that on the lineup that old Frugal's going to be in attendance, and that's great to see. Unfortunately, sadly, I will not be able to make it, though I will be there in spirit. But yeah, I look forward to seeing a lot of the sort of wrap-ups and things like that Frugal will no doubt release from the event. So that's excellent. Now, you mentioned that there's the panel discussion, of course, that's going to be happening on the first day of FlightSimCon. What else can visitors and people who register for the conference, what can they expect over the course of the weekend?
Well, they can expect a very packed schedule with FlightSimCon. Obviously, everything on the schedule is optional for them to attend, but we do have the most breakout sessions that we've had all the years that FlightSimCon has been in circulation. This year, we have pretty much capped it. We can't accept any more speakers, any more exhibitors or sponsors. We're down to the final stretches right now, and it's a very packed 2 days, so people can expect speakers of all different avenues of the flight sim industry and the real world industry. We have people from YouTube, such as Frugal Sim. We have people from Boston Virtual ATC. We have people from Shuttle America in the real world. We also have an airline captain coming in. We have people from the development side of FSX, from IDS, Innovative Development Studios, as well as iBlue Yonder. We have people coming from the real world side again, coming from as a certified flight instructor. And we also have some other people coming around that have built their own simulators, so at-home cockpit simulators, such as Tom Gavin, who will be coming along with his Cessna 172 cutout, and he actually put a simulator in it. We're very excited to see that. We're also looking forward to the educational side from Daniel Webster College. We're going to have one of the deans come by, and he's going to speak as well. And a lot of other people will be coming. And I think that everybody who comes to that museum, everybody who comes to FlightSimCon, they can really embrace the whole aspect of aviation as well as the virtual side of it, because embraced by all the history and everything in the hangars and within the museum, they can experience the virtual side from everybody who's there. And then they can also experience the real world applications, just kind of looking around and getting the feel for everybody who is there as well.
And as you said, I think that you sort of rounded that off very, very well. The fact that it is a very fitting setting for an event about virtual aviation to actually be putting it into one of the best air museums in the United States. So really, really great to see that in New England there.
Definitely, definitely.
So yeah, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. Look, folks. Look, Zac, thank you very much for joining me today for this interview. And looking forward to a sneak peek of what we're going to see at FlightSimCon 2015.
No, thank you very much for having us. It's always great publicity to be out on YouTube and out all over the web. For more information, please go out to FlightSimCon.com, as well as any other inquiries you may have. There's contact information on that website, so feel free to reach out to us if you have any inquiries.
And I'll be putting all that in the description of the video down below. And so don't forget, folks, to mark it into your calendars that the weekend of June 13 and 14, 2015, at the New England Air Museum, you'll be able to come in and take part of this wonderful, wonderful and a very exciting weekend, which covers everything from interactive events with you can bring your own gear. You actually get for a fly. You can do some sim pit in the full-size C-172, and you can also then hear, of course, from the very expert panels that are going to be there and the guest speakers. All right, folks. Well, thanks very much for watching. This has been a very special edition of the NovaWrap this week. Thank you very much. Take care. Safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time.
See you later. Thanks for having me.